This is a video on solving quadratic equations by factorising. Quadratic equations usually have the same form. They have a letter in front of x squared, which is replaced by any number in the given question, so it could be a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or anything. Then another number, which is replaced in this case as a letter because it could be anything, in front of an x. So we have an x squared, we have an x, and then there's a last number at the end, which in this case I'm using as a letter because again it could represent anything at all. That's a quadratic where a, b and c could be any numbers. It must be equal to 0 to solve it. So that's the general form of quadratic. I'm going to make one up. I'm going to start with a being 1 because those questions are easier, and later on we'll do another video where a is a bigger number. For example, I could say x squared plus 12x plus 35 equals 0. That's a quadratic, and it would say factorise. To factorise, you need to know which number to do factors of. It's always the number that has not got a letter next to it. So in this case, it's 35. So from the 35, I list all the factors of 35. They are 1 and 35. 2 doesn't fit into 35, so it's not a factor. 9 does 3. 9 does 4. But 5 does. It goes in 7 times. After 5, you try 6. 6 doesn't fit in. Therefore, 7 is your next factor. Because you have got 7 in your list, they are all the possibilities. Now you know they're the possibilities, you use which of those pairs will somehow give you a 12. You can quite simply see that the 5 and 7 will be able to give you a 12. So using that, and realising the quadratic comes from double bracket expansion, x must go in the first of both brackets, because when you multiply this you get x squared. To end up with a positive 12, it's 5 add 7, so it must be a plus 5 and a plus 7. That's the factorising bit. Secondly, it says solve, and it says equals 0 at the end, so still write equals 0. To solve it, it means what number is x to make this whole lot equal 0? Well, if I put x here as a minus 5, minus 5 add 5 would make nothing, which means when I times by that, whatever it is, it still becomes nothing, so I'm timesing by 0, hence the whole thing is nothing. So what you do is you say, well, if I make each of these brackets 0, so I make x plus 5 0, solving that separately by moving the plus 5 across to make minus 5, x equals minus 5 is an answer. And over here, you write x plus 7 equals 0, so you move the plus 7 across, so you get x equals minus 7 is an answer. To check it's right, if you were to substitute minus 5 right back in here, and you did minus 5 squared, that would give you positive 25. 12 times minus 5 would be minus 60. And add 35, if you do 25 take 60, that is minus 35. Add 35, it does give you 0. So you can always check if your answer does work. And that's how you would factorise to solve.